Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So we're going to have a little fun today. We're going to bezel a 27mm cabochon. So we've done a 27mm fancy stone, but we've never done a 27mm flat back cabochon. And what's so cool about it is because it's flat back cabochon, we can make a pin out of it. And that's what I did with this one. And I love it. I think it came out so good. So this cabochon, look at that. Isn't that stunning? This is from the Beading School Academy box called Bird of Paradise. Now, I don't know if this box is available anymore, but if you have it, you do have this big, gorgeous stone. Grab one for your stash. Remember, it's a flat back, so we're going to do it a little differently. And you'll see as we go along that I'm kind of designing a little bit on the fly just to make sure things fit and such. So it was really interesting to use this. And like I said, we're going to make a gorgeous pin out of it. And at the end of the video, I'll show you how I'm going to wear it. So I'm going to clear everything off here, and I'm going to get a materials list going, and we'll get started on this really pretty pin. Materials list going. So I did use several items from the Beading School Academy box called Bird of Paradise. Gorgeous, so pretty. I'm so glad I finally got a chance to use them. And the most beautiful piece is that cabochon. It's already beaded, but it's just a flat back cabochon. It's a little differently shaped, so it's going to be interesting seeing how we do a peyote bezel on it. And it's super sparkly and shiny. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. They have, I believe, many different colors. I'll link that down below, or just find a 27mm cabochon in your stash or whatever you like. I don't think we've ever bezeled a 27mm cabochon before. We've done 25, but not 27, I don't think. Anyway, I have 3 different Delicas. They have Delicas in the Bird of Paradise box. I switched some of them out. This one is from the box, and I added 2 more just because, I just wanted to play with some different, colors. I've got a 215-0s, and this one is in the box, and this one I added. They've got this 3mm fire polish, which is gorgeous. I love this color. That's in your box. And there are plenty other beads that you can continue the embellishment if you want to get, a little bit crazy and like have, they have beautiful bicons in the box, all different stuff. So you can always play with all those pieces. Now here is the little filagree piece that I used on the back. So see that's that filagree piece. And then what I did is I glued a pin back to the filagree piece. Now I did find some filagree pieces that had an actual pin back attached, but for some reason I can't find them now. I have them in my stash, and I've looked for them, generally look for things like this on Amazon. I think that's where I got these. But I'll keep looking and see if I can find an actual, pin that's attached. If not, I just glued it on with E6000. Of course, I got it all over my hands. I'm terrible with glue, but just take your time and do it slowly. So here we go. Here's the E6000. I've got a needle with all different size needles in it, and I've got Fireline Thermally Fused Tough, which is my new favorite thread, and this is in crystal. And we've got a, which I always forget to put down, a stop bead. So there you go. I'll list everything in the description box below the video: sizes, shapes, colors, how much you need, links to cabochons, and links to I don't know if the Bird of Paradise box is available anymore, but I'll take a look and I'll link it if it is. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start by threading our needle with about 6 feet of thread, put on a stop bead around the middle. Let's use our formula. So we've got a 27mm stone. We're going to multiply that by 2.5, and I come out with 67.5. So I'm going to start with 68 Delicas. 68 Delicas. I just alternated that sort of light pink one with a gold one from my stash. And I'm just going to just put it around, see how our 68 beads look. And that looks pretty good. Now this is a flat cabochon, and it's kind of slanted here, so I want to make sure that it's going to cover up to this point and not this point. So 68 looks pretty good. So I have my 68 Delicas, and I'm going to sew them into a circle. So I'm just sewing through the first bead after my stop bead. And this one I have regular peyote bezel. So because I've alternated my colors, I started with the gold, so I'm going to pick up a pink, exiting the gold, going to skip the next one and sew through the next gold one. And I'll move my thumb in a second. You just want that pink one to pop up on the previous pink one. So I'm going to pick up another pink one, and I'm just going to sew through the gold one. So here, skip the pink one, sew through the next bead, which is a gold one. I'm just going to push that up, and I'm just going to repeat that all the way around. All the way around, and I'm going to step up. So exiting this gold one, picking up my pink one. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to sew through the gold one and then that pink one on the diagonal. It's going to step me up so I can put some more beads on. So this is what it looks like so far. Okay, I'm going to add my last couple of Delicas. So here, and then here's my last one. I'm just going to sew through the pink one and then the gold one on the diagonal just to complete this round, just like that. I have so far. So now I'm going to take off my stop bead and I'm going to turn my piece to the back. I want to do a little bit of beading on the back. So I've taken off my stop bead, and if you notice, the back has the, you know, the pink on the edge, and the front is going to have the gold on the edge. So you'll be exiting this gold bead right here. I just want you to sew through this pink one on the diagonal just to get your needle to the outside edge so we can put some beads on. So I'm going to start bezeling the back now. So I'm just going to pick up a 15-0 and I'm exiting the pink one. I'm going to sew through the next one. So the sticking out bead, you're just going to put a 15-0 in between each sticking out Delica. So you're going to do that all the way around. Down to the end, I'm going to step up, so I'm exiting this pink Delica. I'm picking up my 15-0. I'm going to sew through this Delica and then the 15-0 on the diagonal. So just like that. And now I can put some more beads on. So you can do one more round of 15-0s on this side. So just pick up your 15-0 and sew through the next 15-0, 15-0, through the next 15-0, and you'll just keep doing that all the way around. Coming down to the end, I'm going to put on my last 15-0 this round, so exiting this 15-0, I'm just going to sew through this 15-0, and then the one on the diagonal. And that's going to step me up and complete that round. That's what it looks like. My Delicas, but before we go on and add some 15-0s, I went on the back and I added another round of 15-0s, and that gave me a little better pocket for the stone to fit because it is sort of odd shaped. So when I put it in, I think that's going to be fine. So you're just going to do that third round of 15-0s on the back and then come meet me back here and we'll start the front. Here we are on the front. I'm going to add another round of Delicas. I'm going to pick up the gold one. I think I want to continue with gold here. So I'm just going to add one more round of Delicas. And hopefully we'll be able to capture the stone easily, once we get these on, and probably one round of 15-0s. But just put your Delicas on and then come back and we'll continue. My Delicas, but before we go on and add some 15-0s, I went on the back and I added another round of 15-0s, and that gave me a little better pocket for the stone to fit because it is sort of odd shaped. So when I put it in, I think that's going to be fine. So you're just going to do that third round of 15-0s on the back and then come meet me back here and we'll start the front. Add some 15-0s to the front. So I'm going to pick those, that sort of transparent amethyst is it, I think. Because I want the stone to show a lot. I don't really want to cover it up. So I'm going to see how these look. So I'm just going to pick up, one of the 15-0s. You can use any color you like here. And I'm just going to sew through each sticking out Delica. I want to keep as much of this really beautiful stone, the front of the stone showing, and we'll try to do that. So we're going to do that all the way around and then step up and add another round. So 2 rounds of 15-0s. I added my that second round of the amethyst, and now I'm putting on another round, but I'm using the gold, and I think that makes a nice edge right here. So you have your 2 rounds of 15-0s in the amethyst color, and then you want to put 1 round of 15-0s in the gold, and I think that looks really pretty. So get that done and we'll continue. Okay, coming down to my last bead. So I'm just going to, nexting here, I'm just going to pick up my last gold one, sew through the amethyst one and then the gold one on the diagonal. I know it's hard to see now because everything is so shiny. And this is what it looks like. We can leave it at that and then embellish, on the outside. Or should we try one more, and skip one more 15-0 and skip in between? So here, exiting this 15-0, I'm just going to sew through the next 15-0, like that. And then I'm going to sew through this amethyst 15-0, like that. And then this gold one. And then I'm going to add another 15-0. And I'm going to do that all the way around. So let me grab this, get this 15-0 in here. I just lost my needle, so let me grab it, and let me rethread it, and we'll continue. So let's try that again. So here's my 15-0, and I'm going to just sew through the next 15-0. Okay, then I'm going to advance through the amethyst 15-0 right there, and then the next 15-0, the gold one, like that, and I'm going to put a 15-0 right here, like that. And I'm going to do that all the way around and see if that, if that looks nice. Down to my last 15-0, which I'm going to sew through here like that. And then you're just going to sew through as if you were continuing on, sew through the amethyst and then the gold one. So you're right here at the beginning again. So you have a nice even bezel. So I'm going to pull out a little bit so maybe you can see it a little better. I think that's really pretty. It's a very sparkly stone and bezel. I'm going to come back and maybe we'll do some embellishment around the side, around the bezel. And, then we'll see how it looks. Okay, so now we're going to do a little embellishment on the outside. So often people will ask me, how do I know how many beads to use and how to space them on the outside to have a nice even embellishment around the outside? So if you're just putting one bead in between each bead, that's not a problem. But if you want to do a combination of beads or skip beads and do clusters, that sort of thing, you really need to find out what numbers can evenly be divided into your bezel. So we ended up with 34 beads, right? Because we had 68 to start with and we went down to 34. So you have to find what numbers that can be evenly divided into 34. So that'll be the factors of 34. So it's 1, 2, 17, and 34, which is, not great for really playing a lot here, but we're gonna mess with it and see what happens. We'll play a little bit and see what we can do. So we're gonna start here. I'm going to start I'm holding in the front. I'm going to come through, I'm going to sew through, not the first round of Delicas, that would be this one, but the second round. So it's starting right there. See where my thread's coming out? So that's where I'm going to start this round. And I'm just going to be sewing through each one of these gold beads all the way around. Little note here. This is an aside. This isn't for this bezel, but just if you don't want to do the factor thing and, with the calculator, a lot of times I'll just draw a circle and let's say I know this one is 32 beads around. So I started with 64. This is not for the bezel we're doing today. This is just an example. So I ended up with 32 beads around. So, what can how can I divide 32 into groups if I want, let's say I want to work over 4 beads. So let's say I start with this bead, I'm going to work over 4 and end with this one. And then I'm going to sew through the next one and then I'm going to start another group. So if you're going over 4 beads, I know that I'll have 8 groups and that will fit. So that will give me my 32 beads. So over these 4 beads, I could put, maybe an 11-0, a bicone 11-0, or 2 11-0s, bicone 11-0, and sew over here. So if you want to do some sort of like a little grouping, and and a lot of times it will fit beautifully. The one we're working on today does not work that way, so we'll have to play with it. But just another thought, if you're visual, just draw it out. Up an 11-0, and I'm exiting here. I'm just going to sew through the next 11-0. So this is going to be the easy round, just like that. So we'll be putting an 11-0 on. So it'll look on the front. And then we're going to pick up a Delica. So I chose a darker Delica here because I know everything's been so light and sparkly. So here we're exiting this Delica. I'm just going to sew through the next one. I'm just sewing through all the Delicas in that line, right? So let's put that one on. So that's what it looks like. Then I'm going to put on an 11-0. I'm just going to alternate, just sew through that next Delica in line, and then a Delica through the next one in line. And this is easy. You know, this will be fine. So you're just going to do that all the way around. I'm coming down to my last couple of beads. So here I've just put on this Delica. I'm going to put on the 11-0. And then the last Delica, it's going to go right here. That's going to complete my round so that I've alternated the beads. They all fit beautifully. So far, so good. So I've got all my beads on, and I'm exiting. So the last bead I put on was this Delica, and I'm exiting. I sewed through that next gold Delica. I'm just going to turn my piece around. So I'm exiting that interior gold Delica right here. I'm going to sew through this pink one. I'm just using the same thread here. And then this gold one right here. Okay, so now I'm exiting this Delica here on this side. So here's the last row of Delicas on this side. I'm exiting the gold one. Put some beads on this side. So I'm going to do the opposite of what I did on the other side. So I'm exiting this gold Delica right here, and see where I have the sort of pink Delica. I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and I'm going to sew through the next gold Delica. So just the one in line, and that's going to alternate it, right? So where I have the pink one in the front, I'm going to put the gold one in the back. So here I'm exiting this Delica right here. I'm going to pick up a Delica and I'm going to sew through the next gold one. Like that. So you see how it's going to alternate all the way around. So the next one would be a gold one. Like that. And then the next would be a pink one, fuchsia one. Like so. So when you look at it from the side, this is what it looks like. So just continue that all around. And finish that round, and then we'll do some more. Okay, put on my last bead. It's going to be the Delica. So just like so. In here, I'm just going to sew through that gold Delica. Just like that. So this is what it's going to look like. This is what it looks like so far. You've finished the other side, and excuse my furry bead mat, but somebody just decided to go to sleep right here. But anyway, at this point, you're exiting. Let me pull in a little bit. You're exiting a Delica. So the last bead we put on was this one, like that. So we're exiting the Delica. At this point, I think you should sew your thread in, because my thread is getting a little, it's been going around and around and around. I want a fresh thread to do the next round. So just sew this thread in around, around your beads here, and then come back and we'll add a thread and we'll start doing some more embellishing. We're back, so let's play with adding some more beads on. So we have both our embellishments on the back. Here's the front, this is the side. I'm trying to lower my lights a little bit. All right, so I'm going to thread my needle with a few feet of thread, put on a stop bead, leave a tail to sew in. I'm going to sew right through this Delica right here, so the pink one. I'm going to pick up an 11-0, my 3mm fire polish, and an 11-0. And I'm going to sew through the next one. So that next pink Delica. So I'm skipping over the 11-0. I'm just going to push it back a little bit. So just like that. 11-0, fire polish, 11-0. Exiting here, I'm going to sew through the next Delica. Like that. Just going to push it back a little bit. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. Okay, last 11-0, 3mm fire polish, 11-0. Exiting here, I'm going to sew through the Delica, the pink one. I'm going to push it back a little bit. So this is what it looks like. So it looks like so far. So I've exited, I just put this group on here and I'm exiting this Delica right here. I'm just going to sew through the 11-0. So the next 11-0 and the fire polish here. Now it's a little loose right now because we have our tail thread here. And here's our working thread. So your working thread will be exiting one of the fire polish beads. And make sure they're all kind of pushed back a little bit. Now we're going to do some more. So just, you're exiting this fire polish bead. I'm just going to flip my piece over to the back like that. So you're still exiting that fire polish. Secure this round a little bit. So we're going to pick up an 11-0, exiting the fire polish. I'm going to sew through the 11-0 on this side. See right there? And then I'm going to pick up an 11-0 and I'm going to sew through the next fire polish. And when I do that, it's going to place those beads right there, and it's going to, as we go around, it's going to secure out that round. So picking up an 11-0, sewing through that 11-0, picking up an 11-0, sewing through the fire polish. And you're just going to continue doing that all the way around. I'm going to do it one more time. 11-0 through the 11-0. 11-0 through the fire polish. So, and just kind of push it back a little as you're doing it. So just continue that all the way around. Okay, so I got all my beads on, and I'm going to stop here. I just think it's so pretty this way. So what you want to do at this point is just sew all your threads in, and this is what it's going to look like. So next up, I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to actually talk you through it because I already put my pin back on. So I'm going to talk you through getting this pin back on. Talk you through the pin back. So I took my pin back and I used this Loctite super glue gel control, and I just took the pin back and I put on some glue around the pin back. And here, let me just grab another one to show you. So here's how it's going to go on, like this. So I just very carefully, because I did have a big glue issue because I wasn't careful. So you want to be very careful with the nozzle and just get it around the surface. Just put it all over the back, but don't, just work your way around the openings like so. And then you're going to just place it on your filigree piece like so. And you're going to let this dry. And I placed it like above the middle a little bit, because I think sometimes if you go in the middle and it's sort of, it could get top heavy and tilt over. So I would put it up slightly above the middle, and so just like that, and then you're just going to let this dry. Now I don't think this needs to dry overnight, but just let it dry till it's really solid. Give it an hour or so just to make sure it's really solid. Next up, I took some E6000. Now this is where you have to be brave. Now as I said, mine's already on here. I took my E6000 and very carefully, I just covered the whole back of where the cabochon is showing, so the flat back part, and I came right up to that last round of 15-0s, and even got a little bit on those. So you can take like a little Q-tip or maybe like a manicure stick, one of those wooden sticks, and just make sure it goes right up to the edge. And then I filled it in over here, and then I just took my pin back and I put it on like that. I made sure that it was straight the way I wanted it, and then I just put it in a little bead tray and I let it dry overnight. And the next morning, it's like iron. It's amazing. Now, if I wish I could switch these because this one came out so much better. And then actually what I did is, as an afterthought, I took a little 2mm pearl and I popped it in the holes with a little bit of the Loctite super glue, and that just kind of, just made the back look a little prettier, even though you're not going to see the back. All right, so that's our whole procedure for getting this on. It's very easy. You just have to have the courage of your convictions when you put the super glue on the back, because it's really, it's kind of scary to do that, but it will all work out. Just be careful and do it slowly, and don't make a mess like I did. All right, so get that done, come back and we'll finish it. Okay, it's all done, and I just think it came out so pretty, so I want to show you how I'm going to wear it. So I have this really beautiful velvet burnout scarf that I've had for years, and I thought this would be beautiful on that scarf. So here, let me pull out so you can see how I'm going to wear it. So I'm just going to I'm wearing a burgundy top that looks really pretty with this. A gold top would be nice too, and I'm just going to put the scarf around my neck, put one side over the other, and rather than tie it, I'm just going to pin the scarf right there. And I think that's going to be so pretty, you know. But you can wear this anyway. You can put it on your lapel, you can put it on a sweater, you can put it on a purse. It would be really beautiful on a bag, and that would be pretty too. So here you go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.